Today is Sunday, July 12th, and I have an update on the salvia experiment where I think maybe this experiment has revealed something fairly profound or important or something to know about managing salvias. So this salvia, this is its third summer, as I pointed out before, and it first bloomed in March or April. It came into a full, thick bloom. It was absolutely gorgeous. But by the beginning of May, those flower stalks had done their thing, and so I cut this way back, pretty much down to the base, to see what would happen. I shouldn't say down to the base. I didn't cut out all the leaves at the base, but I cut out all the stalks down to the base to see what would happen. And so this thing has just now come back to what I would call a full bloom. It's not the same as it was in its first bloom, but that's to be expected. But this is still a full bloom. Now I cut this back at the beginning of May, and here we are in the middle of July. So it took that long to come back. But I have an important observation about that, because this salvia here is also part of the experiment, and this is the one I've been documenting alongside the other one. This one's newer, this is its first year. But with this one, what I did, instead of cutting it way back when its flower stalks were expired, I just cut out the flower stalks, the dead flower stalks, and I cut them on the stem where I could see that new nodes were going to come out and form new flower stalks. But then after those flower stalks expired, I found that there really was no place to cut the stalk a second time to accomplish that same thing. Cutting them back just didn't work out. Cutting out the stalks didn't work, because there was just no visible place on the stem where new stalks were going to grow. So I went ahead and I actually gave up on this. I cut it way back. Again, I cut it pretty much down to within a couple of inches of the dirt, with the intent that I was trying to make room for the other plants in this pot, the autumn joy sedum in the back left behind it, and then the orange coneflower in the back right behind it. But it grew completely back and into what we see now. And I've actually cut out several stalks because I'm still trying to keep room for the other plants. So this would be more full even than it is now if I wasn't cutting out stalks. So this one I cut way back, and it's grown all the way out again in just a few weeks. Whereas this one I cut way back, and it took, what, a month and a half, maybe not quite, to grow out again. And these, in conjunction with I have 12, I guess, salvias in the front yard, have led me to formulate a theory. And I'm going to switch over to the front yard and we'll continue from there. There are 3 salvias in this pot, and with these salvias, I had a rose bush in here that I didn't like, and I just recently cut it out. But with these salvias, I originally used my strategy of just cutting out the expired flower stalks. Then I decided that this pot just had too much in it. The rose bush was still in there at the time. And so I cut these way back. I cut them out with the intent of killing them, honestly. And here they are again, and they've grown all the way out, and it only took a few weeks. I'll have to go back and see if I can figure out how long it took, but it hasn't been long. So then these here, we have 3 salvias in the top middle, 3 on the bottom right, and 3 on the bottom left. So these, I also followed the strategy of initially, after their first bloom, I just cut out the flower stalks, the expired flower stalks, let all of those come back, which they did, and they looked good again. But then again, there was really no place to cut them to make that happen again. So that I cut them all the way back, the stems all the way back pretty much to the base of the plant, but I left the leaves that were at the base of the plant, which is what we're looking at now. But I just did that, and we can already see that these plants are growing new stalks after just a few weeks, or not even. I'll have to go back and look at how long ago I did this, but it wasn't long. All right, back to the front yard, or backyard. So back to the original salvias that were the part of this experiment from the very beginning. The ones in the front yard were added later. But here's my theory. that when a salvia grows its first bloom of the season, don't cut it back. Just cut out the expired flower stalks and let it grow a second set of stalks for that particular bloom. After those flower stalks have done their thing, expired, then go ahead and cut it back. And it seems to grow out much, much faster than if you had cut it all the way back the first time instead of just trimming out the expired stalks. So my theory is that the reason for that is that when you're just cutting back the stalks, you're leaving behind all of those leaves and giving the plant a lot of time to build up energy. It's got a lot of leaves, it's collecting a lot of sunlight, and it's doing things in preparation for the next bloom. So that when you do cut it all the way back, it has that energy stored up and just renews itself much, much faster. So that seems to be the case, but there is a problem with that theory. And the problem is that this salvia over here is new this year, and all of the ones in the front yard are new this year. I bought all of them at the same time. This one is 3 years old. So it could be a difference in the age of the plants. Not the kind, they all came from the same nursery, 3 years apart, but they're the same variety of salvia, the Blue Bayou salvia, and they all came from the same nursery, just a few years apart. So yeah, that's my working theory, that the first bloom, you just cut out the expired flower stalks. After that, you cut it all the way back, and it's got enough energy reserves to regrow really, really fast. And the reason this didn't regrow really, really fast was because I cut it all the way back after its first bloom, and it didn't have those stored energy reserves. So that is my theory. We're not done. It's still mid-July. There's a long way to go, but that is my theory.